Hey fans, it's FanRailer here, and we are going to be looking at two updates that I've made, one to the HHP-8 mod and one to the Acela mod. We're going to start with the HHP-8. The updates that were made basically are the John S. brake fixes. They've been implemented on both of these trains now so that the brakes are more user-friendly. See if this wants to load correctly. So, as you recall, before brakes on both the HHP-8 and the Acela, you were not able to select a position between minimum reduction and suppression. It was either minimum reduction or suppression. You couldn't select a brake level in between. But this update fixes that, and I will show you here. So note that we start out at 40%, and I can easily select any position in between minimum reduction, which is between 5 and 10%, and suppression 50%, and full service, which is 60%. Brakes are also graduated release, so they work the same way as they do on the AEM7 and the ACS64. So operation is much more streamlined than it was before. I can never tell when the cab signal is deactivated. I hate this thing. I'll find out later. So why don't we give it a test run? We're going to be running to Newark, and after we do that, I'm going to switch over to the Acela, demonstrate how things are working over there. One thing that I also want to note is that the way the dynamic brake blending is coded on both the Acela and the HHP-8 is a bit odd. It's based on your auto brake handle position, not the brake pipe reduction pressure. So basically, how it's coded is that when the auto brake handle is at 100%, the dynamic brake command is at 30%. So I was able to manipulate the dynamic brake coding in the simulation files to ensure that the proper dynamic brake levels are called for during a full service application. So I have it set to where if you use 80% auto brake, corresponds to 25% dynamic brake, which calls for the 34,000 pounds of brake effort below 45 miles an hour. So that should reflect on the ammeter. Maximum brake amps should be around 340. Alright, so that's it for the HHP-8. As you can see, the brake works much more easily than it has before. And we are going to port over to the Acela. I mean, it's basically the same once you've done it in the HHP-8, but for the sake of demonstration, I will run through the Acela anyway. I always like using a longer train set than usual, just because it's fun. No particular reason. Where should I test this? Oh, I know. Okay. So I want to do the airport to Metro Park. And we'll use the 10-car set. Why not? Actually, I'm not familiar with this quick drive routing. I just know Northeast Corridor. The quick drive routing heading south is not exactly ideal, depending on your start and end destination. So we'll see what track they put us on. Alright. Alright, so that's disabled. Same deal from before. Brakes work exactly the same as they do on the HHP-8 now. I've also actually, on the Acela, I have raised the maximum braking rate because I don't think it was slowing down as fast as it should have before. So you should have an easier time stopping the train set from this point forward. So why don't we give it a spin? Forgot to turn tilting on. Tilt. There we go. Don't want to not turn tilting on. That would be bad. I actually like this pathing. It's not too bad. I might use this as my new test strip. Yeah, there's an issue with the tractive effort gauges. I don't know why they don't function the way they should. The coding, it's a scripting issue, so basically it's out of my power to fix. But basically, I don't know exactly how it's mapped, but I think it's mapped to like the throttle and the brake handles and not the actual amperage that is supplied to the traction motors like the HHP-8 is. I mean, I don't think it's a huge issue because I've included a heads-up display ammeter as part of the mod. This is actually not here in the default Acela before you apply this modification. There's no ammeter, but I do add an ammeter and it does show up, so you could use that to gauge how much tractive effort you're putting out. I have it set so that 1 amp is equal to 100 pounds of force, so now it says 194, 193, that's 19,200 pounds of tractive effort. So starting tractive effort is 50,500 pounds, so that would read 505 if you're at 0 miles an hour and your throttle's at 100, but it'll never actually read that high anyway. Alright, so that's it. That's all to see. The links for both of the mods are supplied in the video description. As you can see, I have not included the readme files in the description this time because they're basically identical and you can read them yourself once you download the mod. Make sure you do read them if you need more information on the mod or if you need instructions on how to install, although you should know how to install these mods by now if you are a regular subscriber to the stuff I release. So yeah, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed, and I hope this mod improves your operating experience. And until next time, see ya.